Morning, I'm Keith Stewart from Streets and Roads. Got my assistants Tom Quinn, Anthony Sproul, and David Sanders here to help me. We're going to be going over the removal and installation of a plow and a V-box spreader on our single axle trucks. We always want to make sure before we get started we have all of our personal protective equipment, our hard hats, our vests, our gloves, safety glasses, steel-toe shoes. From that point, we're going to go ahead and show you how to remove a plow. All right, as you can see, we got the plow already on the ground. The truck lowered it down. We ran the hydraulic cylinder all the way down. And what you first need to do is run these jacks down to the ground, take the weight off of the pins on the plow itself. And then we're going to go ahead, we've already done that. We're going to have Anthony and Tom go ahead and remove the pins. Pull the keepers on the pins. You may need pliers to do this. After the pins are removed, you can take the hammer and just go ahead and drive the pins out. Then they're going to go ahead and remove the hydraulic lines off from the truck. Pull them through the frame to make sure they're not wrapped up in anything, and then remove the chain off of the hanger. And at this point, you can back away from the plow. All right, now that we've shown you guys how to remove the plow, we're going to go ahead and reinstall it. Basically, you do everything in reverse of what we showed you. At this point, I'm going to ask David to drive the truck to the plow to reinstall the pins. After the pins are reinstalled, we'll put the keepers in place to make sure the pins don't come out. As you can see, Anthony already hooked the chain back up. After the chain and the keepers are put back in place, we'll go ahead and reinstall the hydraulic lines. Feed them through the plow frame itself, that way they don't get caught on anything, they don't get wrapped up on anything. All right, we have now shown you how to remove and install a plow. If you have any questions on any of this, come see someone from Streets. Streets personnel can help you with that. And we're now going to move to show you how to remove and install the V-box spreader. All right, now we're at the rear of the vehicle. We're going to start removing the V-box spreader. First step is to remove the straps from all 4 points. We're going to start that at this process now. It takes a few minutes, so you'll give us a few minutes to get that done. So now that we've got the straps removed from the spreader, we're going to go ahead and continue with the removal of the spreader. Anthony and Tom are going to go ahead and lower the back legs to the ground. They're going to pull the keeper pins out, let it go all the way to the ground, and once it hits the ground, you bring it back up to find the first alignment hole to put it in. The very first hole that it'll fit in right there. got it pinned up. Now Anthony can go ahead and remove the hydraulic lines and the electrical connection for the lights. All right, at this point, we're going to go ahead and remove the spreader from the truck. Anthony's going to direct David how to what to do in the truck. And notice he's going to stand back at quite a distance. You don't need to stand right up near it. Just, you know, in case something gives out, you don't want it to fall on you. Stay within the eyesight of the driver of the truck so he can see your hand directions. At this point, I'm going to go ahead and ask Anthony to go ahead and get David to go ahead and remove it.
Fire it up.
All right, David. As you can see, as soon as the pressure hits the legs, it pops right out of place, and then you can start driving forward. As you go forward, you may need to raise the bed to make sure the front legs, when they pop out, will hit the ground. As he pulls forward, you'll notice the front legs dropping. They'll drop out from underneath the spreader itself. And then Anthony's going to stop him there. They'll lock the legs in place. After they're locked in place, David can go ahead and remove the truck completely from the front of the spreader. All right, we just showed you how to remove a V-box spreader. Once again, if you have any questions, you can ask most anybody in Streets and Roads who can give you the answer on how to do it. Now we're going to reinstall the spreader. We're going to ask David to go ahead and fire the truck back up. Anthony's going to direct him how to get back underneath of the spreader. You'll be raising the bed to get underneath of the front of the spreader. At this point, I'm going ahead and ask him to go ahead and do that. All right, David. Anthony's going to have him raise the bed, and you'll notice as the bed goes up, it'll clear the wheels on the front of the spreader. And you can back underneath of it at that point. Once he backs underneath, the weight will relieve off the front legs, and then you can unpin the front legs so they'll swing in place. It's just a pull pin that locks in place out of the way. Now the legs are free. He can continue to back underneath of it, and it will self-store itself as he backs underneath of it. You have to try to line up the tailgate pin itself, the tailgate bar, as he's backing underneath of it. And then once you get it lined up, it should pop right in place. All right. Now he's got the tailgate bar locked in place, the truck bed lowered, and as he lowered the truck bed, as you'll notice, the rear legs raise off the ground. We can go ahead and pull the pins out of place and raise them in their store position, repin it. Now the legs are stored. We're going to go ahead and reinstall the hydraulic fittings, lines, and electrical connection. They all are different sizes, so they can only go one way. You can't cross them up. Now that the V-box is reinstalled in the truck, we've got to re-strap it down. So we'll get the straps, reconnect it to all 4 points, strap it down, secure all the straps themselves. And after that, that job will be complete. We have now got this V-box strapped back to the truck. At that point, that concludes the removal and installation of a V-box spreader. Again, if you have any questions, Streets and Roads can help you out. Important to note that all of our new trucks are set up the same exact way. All of our brine units have the same stands on them. So to remove and install a brine unit in the truck would be the same, pretty much the same procedure. So that concludes the installation of a V-box.